Hi everybody, welcome to the review. It is 8:58 p.m. Finished watching Weapons, directed by Zach Kreger. As per usual, my review will be spoiler free. And if you like the content of my channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button below, spread the word to your friends and family, and provide a like and a comment at the end of the video if you want to. I'm going to keep this review as vague, as intentionally vague as possible, because I do not want to give away any important plot details that would reveal the significance of the story. Whereas this story involves children who were attending this one specific class, and at 2:17 a.m. they all just vacated their homes and ran off into the night. You're not exactly sure what is going on, but throughout the course of the film, all these horrific details start to come to light, and it's very, I'm going to go ahead and say this, horror, to me, people want to categorize horror in the sense of jump scares, overly violent gore, and while all of those elements are very much synonymous with the whole genre of horror, I do believe disturbing, unsettling, chilling, and creepy is the new horror, because you don't have to rely on the jump scares or the showing the monsters or the overabundance of gore to tell a story. And this film, Zach Kreger, who directed Barbarian, which was a fantastic film, I might say, I was very impressed with how he brought this story to light. Because anyone who is familiar with the film called Vantage Point, with the star Dennis Quaid and Forrest Whitaker, it tells a story of how there's a certain assassination attempt that's happening within this specific country, and it's telling the vantage point, the perspective of all the characters who happen to be there at the same time. This is following that same premise in the way that you're following the story of the different characters who happen to be part of the same horrific details that is happening within this small town. And this film, Zach Kreger does an amazing job as far as painting image of relying more on the atmospherics and the creepy imagery that this film entails. And with the story that's involved, I have to say there was a lot of moments within this film where it was just so unsettling and creepy and chilling to the point to where it is literally piercing your soul, to where you feel it within your heart. And there were many scenes in this film where I'm sitting there watching and I could not believe how on edge I was and how I felt the hairs on my arm and my neck standing up, because it's hard to explain, because in order for me to fully give you a full accurate representation of what I was experiencing, I would have to give you a detailed explanation of the overall concept of the film, and I do not want to do that, because I want everyone to be able to witness it for their own eyes and to experience the level of creepiness that's associated with this story. And with the acting, you have Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, Benedict Wong. This film, their performances are so impeccable, and it really gives you a broader sense of how you relate to each and every single one of them. Every one of them, to a certain extent, is very likable. Josh Brolin plays a very concerned father who wants to find out what happened to his child. You have Julia Garner, who's playing the teacher that the whole town is suspected that she has something to do with the disappearance of her students. And she's not snarky, she's not rude, she's not unlikable in any way. You truly feel her plight, because she wants to find out what happened just as much as the parents do. And for the whole town to literally be against her, it paints her into a sympathetic light. And she is the type of character who is drowning her sorrow away in order to find a way to escape from her own hellish existence. And Benedict Wong, who plays the school principal, and this, as I said, their acting is completely on point. It is raw, emotional, realistic, powerful, fully immersed within the story, bringing you in to the point to where you are relating to every single one of them. And when it comes to the overall disturbing, unsettling imagery of this film, there's a lot of moments, but there's one moment specifically where the way Zach Kreger focuses on the door opening. And when you see the door open, you just know it's just the way it opened is such an unnatural way of inviting the guest in, that you can't help but feel just frozen in fear, because you see nothing but darkness. And what's in the darkness is, to me, one of the most horrifying elements within any horror story, because the unknown is far more frightening than what you do see or hear. And man, there's one moment I will never forget it, as I'm sitting there watching it, and when it happens, it's so unsettling and disturbing and just I cannot express. Anyone who watches this film, would know exactly what I'm talking about when it happens, because it's so out of the blue that you are completely caught off guard with what's going on. And there's a lot of people I've noticed where they said they didn't appreciate the humor. The humor, horror and comedy have always gone hand in hand to a certain degree. The humor within this film is very intricately placed, with it being perfectly balanced with the horror. It's more of a macabre, morbid sense of humor rather than anything that is fully comedic. It's a way to alleviate the tension, but yet you find yourself almost, you're laughing because you don't. It's a kind of a cheeky, cute way of breaking the fourth wall to an extent where if you were in that moment, you know, curious minds would never go investigate anything. So, with that being said, this film just really knocks it out of the park as far as the horror element is concerned. This is probably the best horror film, mystery horror film, if you will, of 2025. And this is coming from someone who loved both the Smile films, Talk to Me, Hereditary, Barbarian. This is definitely a different way of telling a story, and I am just flabbergasted. This film was absolutely amazing, horrifying, intense, really just giving you a rush of adrenaline, because you just don't want the story to end, but at the same time you know it's gonna have to end. And the ending itself is very abrupt, but I don't really think there was anywhere to go with the ending, so it's best for it to end in a way where it's bittersweet. And I'm gonna have to go ahead and give Weapons 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10, highly recommended. That is my review of Weapons. I hope you all enjoyed it. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about it, if you have watched it. And my next review is most likely going to be The Naked Gun or Nobody 2. Hope you guys remain well, take care, and remain healthy. Peace out.